Hey, podcast listeners. Thanks for joining me on this special edition of the Business of Style podcast brought to you by the Beauty Council. My name is Greg Robbins, and I'm here to review and reflect on 5 main areas of business development and trends and other predictions that we're coming across at the association. I'm super excited to cover these off. There are some really interesting trends happening and things going on, and a couple of surprises. So let's jump right on over into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to talk about the top 5. There are many other things that we're seeing, but I don't want to get into too many because we could do 10 things that we expect to see in 2024 and even more. But this is really all about the top 5. So let's talk about them. So the number 5, we're going to go backwards from 5 to number 1, is we're going to see like a real growth in sustainability and eco-friendly practices. Not just products, because I think we've all experienced those. We've got them up on our shelves. We see them at the store. We buy them and we use them. But what we're hearing and what we're seeing is a lot of our members are moving towards like a practice of eco-friendliness. So, this is just due to growing environmental concerns. We're seeing it in the climate. We're reading, we're experiencing hotter summers and warmer, wetter winters. And I think we're really all beginning to realize that unless we do something soon and we start doing things on our own, we may be in for a little bit of work down the road. This is really putting a greater emphasis on sustainability within our industry. And so what we may see really is more eco-friendly packaging within the salon space. So rather than glitzy bags with plastic and silver ink, we could see a little bit more use of, let's say, craft or even no bags whatsoever when we're packaging things up for clients. Also, bigger emphasis just on ethically sourced ingredients. So when people are buying, we're hearing of salons who, when they're buying products, they're actually looking at the ingredients, they are scanning the products, they are doing some checks and balances to see if they align with their own values. And actually, about 2 weeks ago, we had a member drop a fairly well-known brand publicly, actually on social media, because the product wasn't aligning with the way that they wanted to go ahead with an eco-friendly mandate moving forward. We're also looking towards things like a zero waste product. What can you get that has zero waste or very little waste, less packaging, less support materials, some sort of capacity to fit into the recycling network? Watch out for those. They're really coming. But in terms of the operations, we had a member actually call us up about 3 weeks ago and was asking how could they install and install bike racks and encourage their customers to ride their bike to the salon in the summertime or whenever they wanted to. That was a really interesting conversation. We've also been exploring ways of advising our members of how to like integrate the use of transit or walking to get to their business as opposed to driving. I realize that that's not always possible, but in certain cases, in maybe larger urban areas or even just urban areas, it's entirely possible. Anyways, we can see that. So that's number 5. Number 4, counting down here, we're looking at inclusivity and diversity in product ranges. So there's a real trend towards inclusivity and diversity, of course, as well. And we're going to see this continue. We're going to see this from brands. They're going to start expanding their product ranges to cater to a wider variety of skin tones, hair types, and beauty needs. In terms of that, then we're probably going to see a range of changes in services. We're seeing in America already some changes coming down the pipe and being institutionalized in schools for working on textured hair. And of course, then we also have to think about skin types and other factors that come into play when it comes with different types of cultural sensitivities. So I'm really excited about that. I think we're going to see a lot of diversity and inclusivity in 2024. Watch out for it. Jump on the bandwagon. Don't be left behind. Number 3, counting down, there's going to be a real growth of digital and remote beauty services. So what do I mean by that? Like that just sounds kind of strange, but this is really what we've boiled it down to. So we'll see the beauty industry expand its digital footprint. And so by digital footprint, I mean things like virtual consultations, online tutorials, and even remote services. So this could include things like virtual try-on apps for makeup, hair color, haircuts, as well as online platforms for beauty consultations and personalized advice. So this is something really exciting that we're seeing as technology just gets better, as cameras get more sophisticated on phones. We're beginning to see the evolution of virtual reality and the integration of tools that are actually really easy to use and give you quick options. It's not the old days of the really bad, like stuck on haircuts or really bad makeup jobs. Watch out for the digital and remote beauty services. The next is a real, what we like to think of as the rise of the social media superstar. Now, what do I mean by that? I know, everyone's like, oh, the person with the most likes or the most shares or the most comments. What we're really talking about here is just the social media superstars who are expected to evolve significantly. And we're seeing that already with some individuals in the social media space who have really begun to grasp and understand what it is to really do well through social media to advance their brand. And they're going to become even more crucial in their brand representation and the way that they market their salons and spas. And it's all going to hinge on creating carefully curated content built on a consistent and strategic schedule. And these owners, salon owners, renters, individuals in the business, they're going to be not only showcase their beauty products and their techniques, but they're going to embody the ethos and their values of their own brand that they represent. And their content is going to become more sophisticated. It'll use high quality production and storytelling techniques. Storytelling is really important. And this is going to engage audiences. And anybody in branding or marketing will tell you that storytelling is critical to what it is that you can communicate to an individual in a short amount of time and leave an impression and have them book a service at your place. This trend will emphasize and the importance of your authenticity and personal connection in promoting beauty products and services. So this is really going to make the influencer partnerships an integral part of marketing strategies for you and your salon. What do I mean by that? Finding individuals who can have an impact on your clientele and your potential clientele to want to not only book but also expand and grow and buy more services from you. And an influencer, sometimes we think of influencers are, these people running around, all they do is just take pictures of themselves. An influencer can actually be your own client, or they can be somebody who just means has an impact in the community. We would like to explore that a little bit more in some of our communications coming up. So watch out for that. Super exciting. So think collabs in 2024. Now, the number one, and many of you who know me understand how sort of excited we are here. And this is just the whole increased personalization through artificial intelligence and technology. Now, in case you've missed it, back in November of last year, so 13 months ago, ChatGPT or OpenAI introduced something called a generative text tool that essentially allows you to say to it, "Hey, write me a social media post offering 50% off on products purchased before the end of this month," and then just push the button. And it will actually create you a well crafted, properly written, grammatically correct social media post that is based on everything else that's going on around you and in the world. It's incredible. That is Chat GPT. And if you haven't played around with it, your chance is now to dive in. It'll blow your mind. There's a free version available. But it's not just the Chat GPT. There are going to be the use of artificial intelligence is really going to come into play right across your salon from front to back. Smarter booking systems, automated attendance, tools that will text your clients back and work out, a change in schedule, all while you're either working or relaxing or even sleeping. It's going to help manage your inventory. It's going to look at your dollars and cents and give you some recommendations and advice. So you won't have to sit there with a calculator. We all know that's no fun to do. And try and figure out like margins and profit margins and percentages and balances. There are going to be tools that are going to come out very soon that will do all that for you and give you recommendations. And it could be once a week. Add $1.50 to this service. You should be pricing that conditioner on the shelf over there 50 cents more. And it will tell you how that will benefit you in the long run. A lot of these tools are going to start working together with one another. And that's just another incredible opportunity to not only just sort of get into the technology and embrace it, but free up your time, because a lot of your time, if you sort of look at your day and say, well, what do you do? There's a lot of time that can be just sort of spent on drudgery, things like sorting out some paperwork and adding things up and taking inventory or just reviewing schedules. Believe it or not, AI is going to start taking over a lot of that. And if you're not doing it, your competitor is doing it. The salon up the street is doing it. The esthetician around the corner is doing it. So don't be left behind. Learn the magic and the beauty of artificial intelligence now. Play with it. Try it out. Give it a shot. Don't be afraid of it. It is your friend. It will free you. It will open things up for you. Well, not only that, but it'll actually make you look more professional in many ways. If you can write a beautiful website page without any typographical errors and have it in your brand voice, then you are so much further ahead than if you have something with typos in it or it just doesn't quite match your overall tone, because there are a lot of people who are looking at this stuff and they're very sensitive to it. So the whole world is changing. I would totally recommend Chat GPT is where to start. If you want to try it out, there is a tool on our website where you can actually use an advanced version at no cost to you if you are a paid member. I really encourage you to check it out. More on AI as time goes on, that is for sure. We're super excited about it here at the association, and we're coming across a number of members who have totally embraced it and can't believe how much power it gives them on a day-to-day basis. So there you go, folks. Those are the predictions for 2024. Some are familiar, some are new. I hope this has helped you out. We really look forward to working with all of you next year. It's going to be a prosperous year, we believe. Things are going to get better. We hope that interest rates will drop down and people will feel more comfortable about coming to your business and investing in their beauty under your care. Thanks so much, everybody. Stick around. We got lots to come in the new year.